Gotta gotta get into my alter ego and persona. Big Mike Audits. What's good? What's good? What's good? How's my audio this time? Is it much better? I'd imagine it is. Sorry about the live this morning. I had just woke up and I was trying to set things up as easy as possible. And I fucked it up. All right, we got Lemmy, Claudette, Tulip, Wolverine, Transparency. What up? What up? Kristen, what up? William, what's up? Lurkers, what's up? Some of you may have seen my live stream this morning. I woke up to a comment with what I call a hit piece, right? Somebody thinking they're exposing me when really I've already exposed myself. I've talked about my criminal past before. Some of you may know that, some of you may not. Claudette, good evening, everybody. Jugglasses. I haven't made it no big secret that I have a criminal past. Um, I knew somebody would bring it out anyways. You know what I mean? So there was no sense in trying to hide it. So, but this is the video that was presented. This is the video that was presented with my criminal history, and there is actually some inaccurate stuff in it. Surprisingly, that just goes to show the government doesn't get it right. Even this is the information they gave them, this person, anyways. As we'll say, which layout should we use? Um, you guys like that? Like that? No, that ain't what I was looking for. Um, something like that. Maybe that one. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think we'll roll with that. Is that cool? Everybody like that? I was tinkering with it. How's my audio sound? It's got to be better than this morning. But this is a video. It has my they did it's all public record. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's criminal history is public record. In my opinion, videos like this are done with intent and malice, with hoping that it hurts somebody and or their channel. So intent's everything. They put this kind of stuff out hoping to make me look like a bad guy, but who's really a bad guy? I will say at the end, he did give me credit. I appear to be reformed for whatever reformed is. Yeah, I would say so. I'm reformed. I'm a reformed criminal. You know what I mean? I grew up. That's what it means. But as my record will show, I'm not very good at complying and all that good stuff. I don't like being told what to do. A lot of the stuff in this is what I would call fluff, even because they give you the charge, you violate the probation, and you violate it a dozen times, and it just makes your record look super big. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of fluff to this stuff. But let's get into it, I guess, right? No, this one, maybe. Yeah. I want to go. I want to go full. There, there we go. That's where I wanted it. But I'm gonna start this video up. I'll even run his intro, let him get his creds, let him get his creds in. Already, Wolverine?
Well, hello, everyone out there. How are all of you YouTubers out there doing this fine day? I know
Oh,
we had a
heaven,
beautiful
man.
day here today, and I
Peace
got to
out,
see
Wolf.
the doctor for a follow up and got some good news. So it's been a great day in the neighborhood here. Plus, the Michigan Department of Corrections finally got back to me today. So I have one more piece of the puzzle on Big Mike audits.
One more piece.
And I decided to go ahead
And this is all stuff I've talked about before. You know what I'm saying?
and do the video on him with the other or the one last piece of the puzzle missing. And if the court ever gets back to me and it's a really interesting news,
You won't have to wait for him to make a video on it because I will tell you. I will make that known right now.
I can always make an update video. So, Michigan is just like Florida when it comes to searching out a criminal history on someone. You can't search just one website and find
Yeah, blah, blah,
everything
blah.
for the state into Big Mike
We're,
audit. Days upon days.
we're not going to focus on this. He didn't want to search all the states. I've only ever lived in Monroe and Mackinac County. Answer there. All right. Here's a good picture of my handsome self. Look at that handsome guy. One handsome fat bastard, I tell you.
We were able to identify Big Mike audits and where he lives. And from there, it was pretty easy, except for this one last.
See, that just goes to show these people aren't putting in much effort. Because if you watch enough of my live streams, you'll notice I have doxed myself and where I live many times. So it was never a big secret.
Case. So here's what I was
What's
able
up,
to
Hawk fan?
find
What's going on, Hawk fan? Thanks for stopping in. I think I got my audio fixed this time. It's got to be much better, right?
on Big Mike from Curtis, Michigan. So we'll start right out with Mike's driving record. I could only find 3 traffic tickets unless he's got more in another part of the state. Appears back.
What's up, Justin? Let me answer that for you. Nope, those are all the traffic tickets I've ever had. I've been a really good driver. Nowhere else in the state of Michigan or any other state for that fact ever had a traffic ticket. Not that I probably haven't deserved some at times.
In July of 2003, he had an equipment violation, defective or missing.
Equipment.
He was found guilty and given an
That guy.
$80 fine and fees, which were suspended. And then we go ahead to April 12th, 2005.
I think what that was a fix it ticket. You know what I'm saying? Fix it, show us the proof you fixed it, the ticket goes away. That's what that is. A fix it ticket. You know what I mean? All that effort to dig that information up on a fix it ticket. Man.
He's got a failure to stop in an assured distance with an accident out of Bedford, Michigan. And then he had another one for no proof of insurance. Both of them, he was given a default judgment, $207 fine and fees on each one, which he has never, ever paid.
You know why I've never paid? Because I just don't willingly hand my money over to the government. It's really that simple. And I'm poor. You know what I'm saying? Sevenfold, what's up? You want $207 from Big Mike? You're gonna have to come get it.
Now we go on to his criminal record, and boy, does he have one. Now back on.
Now this is what I'm talking about. This is fluff. See, this is the charges at the top. The 4 charges that I was pled guilty to. Everything in the middle is from probation violations because I refuse to comply. I don't like going with the grain. You know what I'm saying? And then at the bottom, it's the same freaking charges. After violating this many times, they resentence you, so they charge you, you know what I'm saying? Then they sent resentenced me to those same charges. So all this junk in the middle is fluff, you know what I mean? It really is. Violation of probation because I didn't wanna quit smoking pot. Violation of probation because I didn't report because 'cause I'd been smoking pot. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? And mind you, all marijuana charges, all of which marijuana is legal in Michigan now. Just because some man made that illegal back then doesn't, you know what I mean? It don't mean nothing. At one time, it was illegal to let certain colored people into certain places. There's a lot of things that was illegal. Just because it's legal doesn't mean, you know what I mean? So this is really just garbage. It really is.
February
Justin, what up?
26th of 2000, he was arrested in Monroe County, Michigan for deliver or manufacture marijuana times two. They were felonies. Maintaining a drug house, which was a misdemeanor. Possession of marijuana, a misdemeanor. And firearm possession, which was a felony. Those were bound over to the circuit court for the felonies.
The firearms felony was a felony because I had possession of a firearm under the commission of a felony, which was manufacturing and delivering marijuana. I sold 2 bags of marijuana to a snitch, and I got snitched out, and they raided me. So I went to jail, and the snitch didn't. That's what happened. That's how all this came about for marijuana that's not even illegal anymore. So, like, the argument of me being a bad person based on this right here alone, it's not there.
And as you see up above here on March 9th, 2000, he was indicted for all of those charges.
All of them.
And then he pled guilty to counts 1 through 4, so 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. And count 5, the firearm possession charge, they nola prosecuted. Now, on 2/27/2000, he was given 93 to 180 days in jail and 2 years probation.
That's right, BigMike fights for his right to party, yo. For sure, man. You already know.
He was also given 273 to 365 days in jail with 3 years probation. Count 3, he was given another 273 to 365 days in jail and 3 years probation. These are all concurrent, by the way. And his last one there, the possession of marijuana, he was given 180 days in jail and 3 years probation. He was also given $4,285 in fine and fees, which, as of March of 2025, he still owes $805.20.
Come get it. You know what I mean? Squeeze water from a stone, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Now we're going to go ahead to September 4th, 2001. There is a bench warrant out for him for a probation violation. And on 11/15/01,
Blah,
that
blah, blah,
warrant was
bench. Alright,
canceled,
let's get to the
and
next part.
he was given 76 days in jail.
You're knocking off.
Now, after he got out of jail, carry him way over the 1.25 here. Anyways, he had all credit for 400.
Get to
Witnesses
the
are going to be concurrent. He was given another 1.5 to 4 years
thing
in
about
state
there.
prison with credit for 418 days. All of these sentences are going to be concurrent. And then we've got he was given
What's going on, Gloria? Thanks for making it. I appreciate that.
a 1.25 to 2 years in state prison with credit for 418 days,
Yep.
which I believe would carry him way over the 1.25 here.
Yep.
Anyways, he had all 3 of those sentences. As you can see right here, Mike went to state prison on August 21st, 2003, and he was released on parole on November 2nd, 2003. So
Yep.
he really did
Heck,
less than 2.5 months in prison. So he didn't spend a lot of time there.
Nope, thank
He was
God.
at Pugsley Correctional Facility, as you see here, was a minimum security facility. It is now permanently closed. And here is old Big Mike's prison mugshot. Look at
Yeah,
that, showing you a much younger Big Mike.
that's me. Look at that young face. That was a face of sadness then. Boy, I was on a rough road them days, you know what I mean? Learned a lot from it. Let me tell you. Yeah, that was a sad face. Not happy to be in the joint. That was taken at, Jackson at the quarantine where they do intake. Yeah, and I like I said, I've talked about this stuff before. I've made it known. I've never went into great detail on all the charges, as you can see. So much stuff is on there that I can't remember everything. You know what I mean? The bottom line is I caught a case because I got snitched out, violated probation a bunch of times. They got tired of me violating probation, sent me to the joint. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did because I wouldn't comply. Look, marijuana's not even illegal anymore. Crazy, right? I'll never get that time back for that illegal plant. You know what I'm saying? That's not illegal anymore. Crazy.
You remember that Big Mike when you got into prison and they took that picture?
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
well. So now we're going to go ahead and on August 26th, 2002, one of his violations of probation on his earlier charge was a failure to appear warrant on an assault and battery charge out of Monroe County, Michigan. That warrant was returned on 10/21/2002, just a couple months later, and he pled guilty on December 13th, 2002, and spent
Yeah, it is
45
crazy.
days in jail.
What's up, Dub? A Job. What's up? Thanks for making it. This is it. I'm exposing myself. Trench coat wide open. You know what I'm saying? Like, like these people think that we come into this knowing if we have a criminal history that it's not going to be posted at some point. I've been waiting for it. I'm surprised it took so long. Most of it I've talked about. Uh, Retail fraud, a little bit of shoplifting. You know what I mean? Uh, Stole some food. Was kind of poor at the time. Spent all the money on formula diapers type situation. I was like, oh, that roasted chicken looked good. So that's kind of where that went. Assault and battery. Caught a dude hiding in my bathroom while I was at work, hanging out with my old lady. He's lucky all he got was slapped, because that's what happened to him. Slapped him, folded him up in the bathtub. Lucky I didn't throw him down the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Second assault, I don't know. Resisting, obstructing, I don't remember. You know what I mean? Um, so it's kind of
Now
where
we
those
go
are.
ahead to October 19th,
Joy,
2002, which was another one of his violations. He was arrested for assault, resist, or obstruct a police officer, a
get a real
felony
job.
out of Monroe County, Michigan.
Okay, I'll work
And
on
they
that
know
just
to
for you.
prosecute that charge. I don't know why. And then on 11/29 2003, less than a month after getting out of state prison, he was arrested
Sad.
again for assault
I
and
was a
battery,
bad
a
dude.
misdemeanor out of Monroe County. That charge was nola prosecuted with a $208 fee. And we go ahead 6 months, and on
Oh, I
July
got all
20th, 2004, he's arrested for retail fraud in the third degree out of Monroe County, Michigan. He pled guilty, was given 45 days in jail with 8 days of credit.
yeah.
And now we're going to jump ahead to
Now this is my sleazeball move right here, the B&E, and what was really a smash and grab. All right. And I was under the influence. I was super drunk. I used to drink a lot at this time. See, '09, about '07, '08, and '09, '10. There was a there's a good stretch there that I drunk pretty heavy, but I was drinking heavy right then, and was in a low point, smashed and grabbed. That's what that was in the night. So it's not like I broke into somebody's house and was lurking around. There was a window on a business, smashed the window out. took the silver money that was displayed right in front of the window. It was in a case, smashed the window, took the money, and that was it. You know what I mean? So, was it shitty? Absolutely. Beanie shouldn't break into nobody's shit. You know what I'm saying? That was a dirtbag move. But it wasn't a beanie where I was roaming around somebody's house in the middle of the night looking for shit to steal. So,
September 25th, 2006. He picks up some more felonies. He got 2 counts of possessed controlled substance analogs, which were felonies out of Monroe County. He got a
yep.
possession of marijuana, which was a misdemeanor out of Monroe County. He got a felony for disarming a peace officer out of Monroe County, and an assault, resist, and obstruct a peace officer or police officer, sorry, which was a felony.
That's right. I resist tyranny at all levels, even if I'm in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Oklahoma, what's up? Big Mike fights back. You know what I'm saying? It's just, guess it's a bad habit to have.
He pled guilty to counts 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. So he pled guilty to the 4 felonies. And count 3 was nolle prost to get him to plead to the others. On November 15th, 2006, he was given 210 days in jail.
The controlled analog too. That's a pill. Um, Me and somebody else lived together. It was pills that they possessed in their room. They weren't mine. The marijuana. I don't. They never even found any marijuana. I don't think. Maybe a roach. Because when I came home after jail, that like the next day or whatever, the bag of weed was still sitting on the table under my hat. They never lifted the hat up and found my bag of weed. I did blow smoke in their face though, so they knew I had weed. There was no way around it. What happened at this situation was late night partying after work, boom, 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 getting down. You know what I mean? Getting down with that get down, and thought somebody was coming over. Was under the impression somebody was coming over. Heard a knocking at the door. Music was loud. So what do? You open up the door. Well, I opened up the door, and there's 2 Monroe County sheriffs, and so I blew a big puff of smoke in their face because I had a lung full, and tried to shut the door. Female cop threw her knee in the door, and by that time I had her knee pinned in the door, and then me pinning the door shut. You know what I mean? And a deputy reached in there with his taser through the door crack. You know what I mean? Like trying to get at me, and I pushed away at it. So that was disarming. Well, it was more like an attempt than anything because I never did take the weapon. So all kind of bogus shit, all because I didn't wanna comply with the cops wanting to come in my house and stop me from smoking weed in my home, you know what I mean, and partying at night. That's what it was. Had a whiny ass neighbor that was a major Karen, and, they caught me slipping. Had I known it was cops there, all I had to do was not answer the door, could turn the music down, stayed quiet. They'd have walked away. I know because 'cause they've done it before. You know what I mean? I've watched them do it before.
With what credit for 1 day served. He did 3 years probation and a
Hey, if somebody
$1,036
wants to put the
fine.
whooping on Joy and put her in a
And
timeout for
on
free, I really don't care.
June 12th, 2008, he did 1 day in jail for time served. On November or December 9th, 2008, a bench warrant was put
Put
out for a
baby in the
probation
corner.
violation. That warrant was recalled on 12/17/2008. And that's because on December 16th, 2008, he was
That's
in
what's up.
court. He was given 30 days in jail. And we go
You come to my channel, you better put some respect on it. Simple as that. I ain't taking no shit from you. Didn't take none from the police and the government. Not gonna take it from you. You don't like it, kick rocks. Call me a-hole, whatever. Call me shallow. Tell me to get a job. I really don't care. Just so you know.
Go ahead to October 1st, 2009. He's got another bench warrant for a probation violation.
See, and that's why this stuff looks so bad. So many probation violations. I just can't do probation. If I get in trouble for something now, you're gonna give me jail time. You know, I don't know. I might be able to do probation. I can quit smoking and weed now if I really wanted to. Amy, what's up? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, because I don't do anything anymore other than I hit this thing every once in a while. This what used to be illegal THC pen that got me locked up in prison for 20 years ago. It's legal now, man. How times have changed, just like Big Mike.
On 2/26/2010, it was recalled. And it says on August 20th,
Amy,
2010, it
Amy,
says
Amy.
sentencing, but nothing was listed. I see he did 6 months in jail there waiting for his sentencing. So maybe they gave him that as
Jeff, Jeff,
his
Jeff.
time
What up,
served.
Jeff?
Anyways, we go ahead
Not been
3 years. Funny, he could behave himself for 3 years
Uncle
while he was on
Dabs. What's up?
probation. Anyways, February 24th, 2009, we've got a possession of
I'm not a candidate for probation, and I like marijuana. That's what a lot of my record shows. When you really break it down in the simplest of things.
marijuana, a misdemeanor out of Monroe County, Michigan. He pled guilty and was given a $298 fine and fees. And then on March 24th, 2009, he was charged with failure to pay inmate admission fee.
Failure to pay a fee to get booked in jail. You know what I mean? You ain't never gonna get a fee out of me for that. If I ain't got the cash on my in my pocket for you to steal, they're not gonna get it from me. I will never pay a booking fee. Eat my shorts.
Out of Monroe County, Michigan. And it took 4 years. And on April 18th, 2013, the fine, fees, and penalties were all dismissed. I don't know what that charge is even about. Maybe Michigan charges you when you go to county jail or something.
They charge you the booking fee. Then they try to trick you into thinking you have to pay it. But if you just wait, it goes away.
We've got this is the case I've been waiting for Mackinac County to get back to me on.
It's Mackinac County, sucker. It's not Mackinac. It's Mackinac.
On May 4th, 2009, he was charged with a felony breaking and entering a building.
That was my dirtbag charge right there. I did do that. It wasn't even, breaking and entering, like I said, it was a smash and grab out of a window of a business. So it's not like I was lurking around somebody's house in the middle of the night. You know what I mean?
But Mac
I've always been too fat to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a cat burglar. You know what I mean? And really, I should have been able to if I had known what I know now, I probably could have pled that down to like a larceny of a building or something. A lesser charge than a breaking and entering, but as you can see, I had a record.
Mackinac County has a 7-year search limit on their site.
Just Mike, what's
So
up?
I couldn't find anything
That's all
out
right, bud.
other than it was bound over to
Glad you made
circuit
it either way.
court. So when I went to the circuit court, tried to search it, nothing comes up because of that 7-year limit. I have been waiting week and a half now.
No, you're right. It's not any better, but it's not as bad. It's all shady. You know what I mean? That is stealing from anybody shady. You know, and that's what that's what I did. You know what I mean? I did it. You know, I'd never go into somebody's house where people live in an occupied dwelling. Okay, so this was an unoccupied dwelling, smash and grab through a window. I mean, I guess how many smash and grabs have we seen in the last few years of these Antifa people and rioters smashing and grabbing? So flog me while you got the chance. You know what I mean? But flog them too, I guess. Shame on me, then shame on all.
for Mackinac County to get back to me, and they have not. If they do get back to me and there's anything good there, I'll do an update video and update you
See, he don't know what happened, that's what he's missing out on, and I'll give you the answer to that.
to get back to me, and they have not. If they do get back to me and there's anything good there, I'll do an update video and update you all on what he was sentenced to on that one.
I was sentenced to 1 year in Mackinac County. They were gonna hit me with a habitual offender, and that's no bueno, okay? So I pled guilty to the breaking and entering if they gave me a year in the county. So that's what I did. And it was the best year in a incarceration I ever spent, honestly. I got my GED, I got to be a trustee, I ate well, jail was super small. It was the right move for Big Mike. That's what happened. Better than going back to the joint.
Or if he was found guilty, or maybe the reason I can't find it is because he was not indicted for the felony. So now we're going to go ahead to July 24th, 2009. And all four of these charges, right through to 2012, we've got four of them: 7/24/09, March 16th, 2010,
I feel you, dude.
11, November 29th, 2011, and
And it's shit that I've learned from. Yeah, I did some shady crap, and by definition of the law, I was a bad dude. I'm still a bad dude, you know what I mean? Man, that letter of the smart people understand the letter of the law is bullshit. All right, bro. And this whole having rights thing, that's bullshit too. They do what they want whenever they want. And they make sure if any of us do whatever we want whenever we want without their permission, uh, they do something about it, up to and including hurting you to the maximus degree. You know what I'm saying? So apples and oranges, I don't know.
August 6th, 2012. All of these
And the biggest difference between me and some other folks is I got caught, you didn't, right? Well, let's hear that. Why don't you be honest with us? So let's tell us about the illegal dirt you did that you've never been caught for. And don't say you ain't ever done it, because you'll be a liar too. That'd make you a liar and a hypocrite. Only difference is I got caught. I got snitched out.
are failure to pay an inmate admission fee, which is in Monroe County. And the only one, the July 24, 2009, the fines and fees were all dismissed on April 18th,
Brendan Mitchell, what's up?
2013. All the rest of them, the $25 fine, was paid on October 6th, 2014. And that is the last that I can find for criminal charges on him. Again, unless he's gone to a different county that I did not check. On October 5th, 2004, Nellie Rushlaw sued Michael in Monroe County.
Nellie Rushlow, baby mama. It's my son's mom.
Small claims court, and that charge actually got dismissed.
She did it out of spite and hate. That's why, and they knew it. You know what I mean?
Now, I think it was on August 22nd, 2006, Florence and Peter Headwall.
Florence and Peter. That's the whole landlord aspect. I had one bad rental situation where I owed some money when I left. They never got it. You know what I mean? Bad guy. Man. Have any of you ever done that? Has there ever been a rental somewhere you've rented that kinda like the last 2 months, you was like, "Fuck it," because you knew you was moving, you couldn't afford to pay and move? You ever been there?
sued Big Mike in Monroe County, Michigan, and that one was for a eviction. And there was a default judgment for the plaintiffs for the eviction and $1,279. I don't know if that was
Who am I scamming, dude?
ever paid or not. All the cases that I found were under Michael D. or Michael Dean, with a date of birth of 1981, because Michael likes to use the alias Michael L. and then his last.
Inaccurate information. Wherever he got his information from is inaccurate. All right. My middle name's not Dean, and I've never used Dean. My middle name is D. It's just the letter D, not DEE, not Dean, nothing else. I've never used L, so I don't know where the L came from. Baby mama's middle name starts with an L, and my mom's middle name starts with an L. So maybe somewhere in some paperwork along the way, effed up there, but I've never. So wherever he got that information, inaccurate. There is no alias. The only alias Big Mike's got is Big Mike, and the rest of it's Michael D. All right. You know what the D stands for? I'll give you one guess. I'll give you. I'll wait 10 seconds. Guess what the D stands for? Michael D. Waiting. Close. Close. D's nuts. That's what D stands for. D's nuts, sucker. Yeah.
Last name. So,
Dunkin'
anyways, Big
Donuts,
Mike up here, he's born
maybe.
on in January 1981.
Got him.
He's living in Curtis, Michigan.
Yeah, I wish I had that set up. I should have had that set up. Gotti. You know what I mean? Gotti. That shit's hilarious.
And I'm told, and he's supposedly still living with his mother, Marion. I got a.
Yep, I live with my mom. This is my mom's house. It's a fact. My mom's gonna be 70 in July. She's had a shoulder replaced, uh, a bariatric surgery. She's had a tummy tuck and a breast reduction. She don't get around very well these days. She doesn't have a license. So, yep, I live with my mom. I think my mom's pretty thankful that I'm here sometimes. Nope, I'm on the first floor. I got my own room. That's what's behind me. This isn't the basement. I've been moving on up to the east side, yo. So, would it be cool to be like the independent man and have my own place? Yeah, I guess. Maybe only because it would prove something to somebody else. It proves nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, I don't have nothing to prove to anybody else. You think what you want of me. No, I got my own phone. I got two of them. She uses an Apple. I use a Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. Next time, though, I might borrow your mom's phone. She did leave it here last night.
Phone number there we had to block out so we don't get privacy struck. We've got 3 email addresses for him I had to partially block out so I don't get privacy struck. And he's got a Facebook page. So if you go out there and search him, you can find his Facebook page.
You can go on my Facebook page. I have like 4 or 5 friends. I don't even accept friend requests. There's only 4 or 5 people in my life that even consider a friend, and they don't live up here. You know what I mean?
I had to
And they
block
know
it
my
out
past.
again because of probable privacy strikes from somebody like Big Mike, who's going to be angry.
Hell yeah, tell moms I'll be by to get the phone later. Might need it Saturday. Oh, shit. I hear there's an Elon Musk protest coming up in my area. I might have to go document that.
Exposed. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what I was able to find on Big Mike Audits from Curtis, Michigan. minus that one case that we discussed that was transferred to circuit court, and I couldn't find anything on.
Like I said, I already gave you the answer. You don't have to wait for him.
Now, I do have to hand it to Big Mike that he seems to have rehabilitated himself, since it doesn't look like he's had any, been charged with anything or convicted of any crimes in the last 12 and a half years.
At least he was kind enough to give me the cred for being rehabilitated. Um, that's what I consider myself, I guess. I don't yeah, I've never thought about it. I just you know what I mean? Hey, Jeff, I try to be, dude. You know, like I said, I've talked about this stuff long ago in my other live streams. You know what I mean? So it's never been a big secret. It really hasn't. I don't know why some people thought it was. It wasn't. They just clearly weren't paying attention. Done enough live streams out in my yard. I've doxed where I've lived. You could probably slow it down and catch my mailbox. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you get it. And I don't care what you think I think. I ain't trying to get what you got. You know what I'm saying? You don't get it. Yeah, I know. That's why it doesn't bother me. I think it's funny. This is just content for something we talk about right now. You know what I mean? I don't think you get it. You know what I'm saying, bro? You clearly don't get it. Oh man. Should have been. Had I not had to stop with the video and run my mouth, I'd have been doing some more of these. I'm a really bad host. I'm not good at this. But any questions? Want to say anything else stupid? Go ahead. We're all ears. Got been. I'll hang. I'll give you 15 more minutes to whine about Big Mike. Any takers? And I tell you what, when I was in prison, I didn't have to keister your cell phone. I can say that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have to sit on no cellies, yo. Good. I'm tired of your face. Kick rocks, barefoot chump. Nobody likes you here, anyways. Isn't there some boots somewhere you need that needs licked? Get to it. That's what's up, though. Big Mike's past exposed. I exposed it a long time ago. I hope my audio is better this time. I tried doing this morning when I just woke up, and the audio was just horrible. Any questions? I agree. I 100% agree with that. You get a kid charged, they should just put you on another island, on an island somewhere, a new, we call it New Australia. Driving on suspended. Oh yeah, yeah. You know you. Driving on suspended's so funny. You just get pulled over 1,000 times, plead no contest to a reasonable fee, pay a couple $100 and go about your day till you get caught again. They just want the money on those. Some people were born stupid and some people get dropped on their heads, and I think some people parents probably put pillows over their face. Yeah, well, thanks, Hawk fan, I appreciate that. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to hide, yo. You know what I mean? Mackinac County and Monroe County. What? Foxy wants in. I gotta let my dog in. Mom says so. And Big Mike does what mom tells him to. That way I don't live in the basement. You go sit down, she'll go sit down. My door just needs to be open apparently. Dude, it's all growth in the end. You know what I'm saying? I am trying to be a better person. I have no desire to victimize anybody, especially on a B&E anymore. All the other shit was victimless crimes except for the assault and battery. Fuck with Big Mike, get bitch slapped. You know what I'm saying? You don't like that? Don't fuck with Big Mike. It's just all there is to it. I could sell wolf tickets too with the best of them. You know, when you're a big guy like me, it's easy to pull the blowfish. You know what I mean? Puff up. People get scared quick. And really, I'm not as tough as I look. I just look tougher than I am. Uh, but all right, I think we're gonna wrap this up. 45 minutes is enough. Nobody will watch this after this. Thank you much for that. Yep, Big Mom. I call her the Big M. Yep, she's the mastermind, the Big M, Big Mom. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys enjoyed me exposing myself. I just try to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? It was bound to come out anyways. But like I said, I talked about it before, so nothing new. Bye.